Why do you call me at this time?
You promised us a painless death if we give ourselves up. Come and get us.
You can wait. Call me again at another time.
Welcome to another episode of America's favorite YouTube horror show, The Hormonal Werewolves. I'm one of your hosts, Adam, and joining us this week, like every week, you get to enjoy these people's company, these lovely people. We have Abby Road Rage to my...
This way.
This way?
Mm-hmm.
We'll call that my right. And down here,
I see them larger than
in the lower regions, we have CBR, Canadian
I spend most of my time.
Yeah.
Hey there, vagina, you're a fragrant little kitty with your landing strip and camel toe. To me, you look so pretty, yes you do. You know what I just want to do. It's punish you.
We are here today to do. We haven't done one of these. We haven't done one of these in 5 months. But we did a couple of episodes in the beginning, original versus remake episode, and we're gonna do one today about Little Shop of Horrors. When we put this on our list to do this as an episode, Mr. Roger Corman was still with us. This wasn't a
specific homage to him.
Posthumous
thing
where we decided to do a movie of his. Anyway, yeah, but we can also kind of like pay our respects here for Roger Corman and just all of the contributions he's made to cinema and horror movies and movies in general. So we got two very similar, all right, so we got The Little Shop of Horrors, 1960, which we're going to sort of gloss over first.
Feed me!
Oh, take it easy, Dracula. What do you think I'm carrying here, my dirty laundry?
Where a man-eating talking plant gives homicide something to think about.
I didn't do it.
Do what?
Whatever.
Ever see this man?
Man, see picture.
Why are you so nervous?
Oh, boy, you kiss good, Audrey.
Oh, I guess I just have a good kisser.
Now you will do as I say.
Yes, master.
And then, of course, we have the more well-known film, which is the musical, the 86 Frank Oz picture. Now, we've done two other remakes versus original episodes before, and this one, wow, what a stark contrast between the two versions.
Look, Chowhound, don't bother me. I got problems of my own.
I'm hungry.
I don't care what you are. You think it's fun to be a murderer? You think it's fun to haul around a sack full of
Food.
Oh, no, Junior. What kind of guy do you think I am?
You can't get much different than this.
Does it have to be human? Does it have to be mine? Where am I supposed to get it?
Feed me, Seymour. Feed me all night long.
Although I will say that the story beats are very similar.
Yes.
The
But
the
the
frame
movie
is just like the
couldn't be
bones are
more
the
different.
same.
Yes, yeah. But the movies themselves couldn't be more different.
Well, you have a black and white versus a shiny musical, but yeah, the story is fantastic. I was going to say Roger Corman famously directed the 1960s movie in 2 days, which I think is unbelievable.
Some people say he did that on a bet too, which is funny.
I would not doubt that even for a second. Kind of makes it better, no?
You almost get anxiety because it's so rushed.
There's a very feels rushed, like a play to me. It feels hurried, even though, again, it's not the musical or it's not the show. It feels like it's set up like a play. Your entire interior, most of all, is this place, and everyone just comes and goes so quickly for the most part.
It opens with that nice little graphic that I have here in the background, which I loved as a kid. I love that. I love the theme song. And then like this, it's almost like a comic strip or graphic novel
like animated
thing going on in the back. And I don't know. I just thought that was pretty cool. And it's just basically an animation of it's showing you Skid Row where the
where the story takes place.
Where the story takes place. And that is we're talking about New York, aren't we?
It looks like New York.
Yes.
Okay.
I know there's a Skid Row in California as well, but
that's what
Skid Row in New York,
where the band was from, right? Skid Row. The band,
they were from Jersey.
the hair. Oh, were they? Okay.
Yeah.
It really does feel like when you're in Mushnick's shop throughout the entire movie, it's still you can tell they filmed this all at the same time on the same day.
Right.
Like it just with everybody, like it's always Dick Miller and that other lady that are there.
Dick Miller, he just comes right in at the beginning. He's like, "What do you got over here?" He's like, "Carnations." He's like, "Delicious," and he's like eating them, putting salt on them.
Tell your carnations. Wait, I'll wrap them for you.
That's all right. I'll leave them here.
Why not? Of course. What else? They are all right.
Well, I've had better.
Well, this is a small shop.
Yeah. What do you think that seasoning was? You think it was like a little Old Bay or Parmesan?
No, I think it was just salt.
Just some salt.
You seem just like a salt guy.
This is Dash.
Dick Miller was originally supposed to be Seymour, because this was right after Corman had done Bay of I want to say Bay of Blood or
Bucket of Blood.
Bucket of Blood. Thank you. And he was supposed to be Seymour in this, and he turned it down because he didn't want to be typecast because his character in that movie was so similar to Seymour.
It was perfect in the role that he had, which was a role that really did nothing more than showcase Dick Miller, because what was his purpose? He didn't advance the story in any way. Like he just ate flowers.
You just ate flowers. And you guys know the Gremlins connection, right?
Yes, because
Audrey,
not just Dick Miller, but you got Jackie Joseph.
Don't feel sad, Seymour.
Don't waste your pity on me, Audrey. I'm not worth it.
Who says you're not?
Everybody.
Yeah, I know.
Audrey is Mrs. Futterman.
Yeah.
And Dick Miller is Mr. Futterman.
It's the season to be jolly. La 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 la. Right, Mary? La la la.
Oh my God.
Is your head about to explode?
Oh my God. No, seriously. How did I never know that?
I actually just, that was
I didn't
my
know
most
it
recent
either.
watch too. Yeah. Jen and I were watching it and I'm like, she looks really
Gremlins.
familiar.
How did I never know that?
It had to have been intentional because again, you got Joe Dante and Roger Corman again.
People find people they enjoy working with and they make it happen. I love that shit.
The comedy in this feels a little forced at times.
A bit.
1960.
there's that whole scene, like, if I'm
tripping over buckets and like,
yeah, tripping over buckets and stuff, and but, he sent her, like, he's basically
the
fired
Dick
on
Van
the
Dyke
spot.
era, man. It's like that was very in that
Yeah.
physical comedy. That was huge.
But, like, that whole scene with his mother, like, he has to go back to his apartment to get his and she's just like in bed, and he gives her like the Mad Dog 2020 because she's like sick, and she starts drinking it. Yeah, and she starts like,
"You're Everclear,"
and like within one sip, she's acting drunk. I'm like,
I know that shit'll kick you.
Yeah,
this movie has big first take energy.
Well,
which again filmed in 2 days.
They're like, come on, go.
That's why the comedy is so. They didn't have time to finesse it. They didn't have time to go back and say, "Hey, maybe the timing on this could be fixed a
right,
little."
we could fix
Corman
this
was,
up.
Yeah, Corman was like, "No, we're good. Let's go. We'll fix it in editing."
That played Seymour. I don't. What was his name?
Jonathan Hayes.
Like in the story with him was that Roger Corman stumbled into him, met him at a gas station, and was just like, you'll be perfect for this movie. You have to audition. And he never obviously made it big, but he was in a couple of other
Corman movies, or
Corman movies. Yeah,
that's cool.
Just as like little side characters, but he gave him a career.
That surprises me. I thought he was actually really good.
A lot of the people that you see because a lot of the movie is just Seymour walking back and forth between the shopping places.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good, that's a lot of movie. And I had read that a lot of the people that you see walking along the streets there, like the extras, were homeless people that Corman had brought in.
There and he just told them,
and he paid them with loose change that everybody had in their pockets, and they were like, just walk around and act natural.
Just don't there like you were.
Don't grope anybody. Don't pee on the, don't take a dump on the
on camera.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say with Seymour's mom, like I wrote down hypochondriac and drunk. Like she's just she needs to be sick. She needs the attention. It's I don't think they're Jewish, but I feel like I know her.
She's like the grandfather in Willy Wonka. I think I made that connection with some other character.
Joe.
But like they just want to lay in bed.
Son of a bitch.
It was like reading the label, and that was another piece of comedy that
contains cocaine.
Dr. Slurp Saddle's famous tonic. Wait here. To be taken internally or externally for pain and neuritis, neuralgia, headache. If hit by a truck, call your physician. Alcoholic content, 98%.
Yeah. If you are hit by a truck, call your pharmacist or something like that, or call you, and you're just like, okay. Yeah. And the thing about it is, like, the jokes happen so quickly that even if they're bad ones, and there are a lot of bad ones,
you're on to the next one.
You're on to the next one immediately before it even registers.
I like the timing. I think it's just I love the chaos and the fun.
Yeah.
Just throw, it's very much just throw everything out. Whatever sticks, and if it doesn't matter because we're on to the next one already.
And this one, more so than in the remake, I feel like Seymour is he's just a freaking idiot. Like at the beginning where he's cutting the calla lilies, and he just there's no connection. The elevator does not go all the way up. So he finds this plant at the Japanese market. Guy gives him this plant, and he's hoping to save his job. Like he's going to bring this. I like that her name is Audrey, or his name is Audrey Jr. and not Audrey 2.
Yeah.
Well, he got the seeds. So this is what, when asked about the plant, he replies, he got the seeds were obtained from a Japanese gardener.
I got the seeds from a Japanese gardener over on Central Avenue. He found them in with an order he got from a plantation next to a cranberry farm.
Fine. You don't even know what is this plant you're growing.
This joke is lost on modern audiences. In 1959, it was announced that cranberry crops were tainted with traces of the herbicide amitriazole, and as a result, cranberry sales plummeted. And in the stage musical adaptation, the plant's origin we know was alien, but in this one, they were kind of like poking fun at the whole radioactive cranberry farm.
Almost sunk Big Cranberry.
This is going to go over big with the foodies.
What's a foodie?
Someone who really appreciates good food.
So if you're a juice lover, does that make you a juicy?
It's going to go over big with the foodies.
Jesus.
Right? Almost.
Road would
What
be
am I gonna put on my turkey?
Cranberry. I couldn't think of a cranberry.
Blackberries, bumbleberries. What kind of fucking madness is that?
Madness.
But I like how they kept that, like in this version of the movie, he gets the seeds or whatever from the like you said, the Japanese flower shop,
Japanese
place.
gardener.
So I kind of thought in this version, and maybe I'm reading into it too much, it kind of seemed like they were leaning into the Eastern mystery, sorcery, like who knows what's over there, what weird stuff is over there. And what I like,
60, dude, they're not that far out.
Yeah, and then but like in the '86 version, they keep that like that is still where he gets the plant, but there's a whole other cosmic thing to it.
By this place where this old Chinese man, he sometimes sells me weird and exotic cuttings. He didn't have anything unusual there that day. So I was just about to, walk on by. There was this... And there was this strange humming sound, like something from another world. And when the light came back, this weird plant was just sitting there.
Because they didn't want to take down Big Crayon.
They didn't want to take down Big Crayon.
They didn't.
So Audrey Jr. in this one kind of sucks, right? Like,
yeah,
I know,
like he's got like cobwebs. And
even for 1960, that's not great.
It looks like an open pistachio shell, fleshlight type of thing,
covered with cobwebs.
Yeah,
yeah, like that crap you get and you put in like an Easter basket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That shit makes me crazy. I don't like. There's nothing I like about that. It gets everywhere. It's almost like insulation. Like you just don't touch it. He brings this Audrey Jr. We can't figure out. Basically, I wrote down he gets $10 a week for his salary. That's
I don't think it's so much. I should keep on spending $10 a week on your salary.
And I did an inflation calculator. He was still getting like crap pay.
Yeah,
like really bad pay, even with the inflation rate.
It's the road, babe.
Yeah.
Down on
Take it or leave it.
Ooh. So,
I mean, Seymour. Let's just throw it out there. Dude was a few marbles short of.
Yeah, no, he wasn't bringing.
He's lucky to have been getting $10. Like
the fact that Audrey liked him was, I think, really more about convenience of what was around that area.
Yeah.
Like I really.
Do I go with Seymour?
Must not have been a lot.
Or the
obviously
homeless
evil
man out back that's, filleting a dog.
I'm pretty sure Mushnick was available. He was doing all right.
Hey, he took her out to dinner. He took her out to dinner once.
That's right, he did.
He bragged about having $9 whole in his till.
You don't have any money? Go on, this is your story. I'll wait for the punch.
Don't get smart with me, girlie. I'll have you know that in my shop in the cash register, I'm having the total day's receipts, which is summing up to more than $9.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was very aggressive.
Like Seymour was stupid to the point that he was sort of unlikable for me personally.
Well, I think he was a little slow, honestly. Like
I mean, do you remember what his mom fed him for dinner?
Like your sweater?
Yeah. It tastes like cough syrup.
Dr. Flynn's cough syrup.
I'll try it. Sure smells different.
It's different.
Some kind of oil, isn't it?
Cod liver oil. Wonderful for the colon.
And that sulfur powder on the top.
I'm pretty sure.
I just remember they put a bunch of chemicals and medicine on it.
It's all like medicinal and chemicals and pretty sure plastic.
Munchausen's.
Like the first time Audrey gives him like real food, he's like, "What does this cure?"
What?
Gee, Audrey, I never tasted food like this before.
The peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Peanut butter and jelly, what does that cure?
Nothing, it's just a food.
Well, what good is it if it doesn't clear up pimples or shrink your sinus tissues or something?
And she's like, "Nothing. You just eat it." And he's like, "Well, what's the point?"
So, is it nature or nurture? Like, I think that he might have, he's been poisoned.
One of the biggest departures between this film and the remake is that there is no relationship between the evil dentist and Audrey.
Right.
I like that And I don't know if maybe I should have brought that up in the next half. But anyway, I like
we'll
that.
We'll talk about that more.
Yeah,
that is a great. It's something
like
that you didn't know you were missing if you had only seen the original, obviously.
It's a genius. It was a great move. It was a great idea.
Oh, it's so nice, Seymour. This is my date, my boyfriend, and Seymour Oren Scrivello. DDS.
And in this movie, it feels really forced. Like, randomly gets a toothache.
You come.
Oh my God, I got a toothache. It hurts. Oh, let go of my jaw. Oh.
Well, that's why, like, the whole dentist thing in this movie does feel forced, because, like, he's just an evil dentist, and like a toothache.
It was an excuse to have Jack Nicholson in a movie, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, Jack Nicholson was a nobody when this was his first movie.
I know.
Here it comes.
Oh my God! Don't stop now!
I don't know. Maybe is this based? It's a weird question. Is this based on a book or anything else before this movie?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
No.
So then, maybe he had a dentist phobia, like in real life.
I mean, Seymour did need a victim, but I mean, just
the dentist here is just like a reason to have a body to feed the plant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like that's it, because.
And he's not very likable.
He's even Steve Martin in the '86 movie. Like, he was a despicable bastard. He wasn't murderous. Like, this guy's a straight up
stealer. Killed.
Go ahead and run, you sniveling dog. Go ahead and run. I'm glad I heard you. I'm glad. So, you are the young man who ruined my gladiolas, huh? Sit down. Come on.
Yeah, that's true. But he would have killed Audrey eventually.
He was trying to kill Seymour when he got into his office because he messed up his fern and flowers. And
that's right.
And that was the entire motivation.
Yeah, he was just a douche.
Fern and flower, singular.
Yeah. Fern and flowers.
All they added the budget.
Right. And he was like trying to and that was the whole reason that he wanted to kill Seymour. And then Seymour stabs him once with one of the dentist
like the drill or the
and he dies immediately.
He hit
this is back. This is back when a single stab wound will just end your life. A bloodless stab wound, and you're just done.
Maybe he used the suction thing, and it just sucked all in.
The thing that goes
I don't
in
know
your
what
mouth,
he said. I don't remember what
sucked
he said.
his soul out.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really gross. And then doesn't Mushnick end up?
No, not Mushnick lives in
somebody
this one.
to the plant.
Oh, the thief.
The thief, right? Okay.
He tricks him with says the money's in the plant.
In the plant, climb in the plant.
Guy, the thief. In that scene, that he's the screenwriter of the movie. That was Charles Griffith, who is also the voice of the plant.
Feed me! Say it again. Feed me. More. But I'm already anemic.
Feed me.
I heard it.
I want food.
A talking plant we got.
I'm hungry.
No. Hungry. And other fine kettlefen fish. Who would you like to have tonight?
You look fat enough.
Same guy.
Oh, said all 8 lines, did
that's right. I did write that down. He wasn't supposed to be, but he stood off camera, like just shouting the voice, and then he figured they would put somebody else's voice in later.
He just shouted it.
Yeah, he's just like, hi.
Roger Corman, fucking legend.
Old death even before the dentist. I forgot all about the dude that was at the train.
Oh yeah, the train wreck. Yeah,
and he accidentally hits this guy in the head with
he's just throwing a brick.
And then he just falls back and stumbles in front of the train and then gets hit by the train. So now that was Audrey Jr.'s first human, other than Seymour's fingers and stuff. And that's when Mr. Mushnick kind of walks in and sees him feeding him a hand. And he's like, oh. And that's, I guess, when Mushnick was having dinner with Audrey, forgets his wallet, says, I'll be right back, and sees Seymour feeding body parts to the plant. And then after that, he goes to the dentist. Then he gets more. It's addicting killing people, I'll tell you what.
My favorite scene in the movie is when the thief comes in and Mushnick hides in the display behind the cash register, the full glass display that doesn't hide a fucking thing. And the thief, and I'm like, what is going on with this scene here? The thief, of course, immediately sees him. Like, what was even the fucking point?
I mean, sometimes you think that the most conspicuous you are, maybe the more inconspicuous you become.
Best place to hide is in plain sight.
Yes, maybe.
Spoiler alert, it is not.
It is not. And then there was a hooker that gets killed. Doesn't he accidentally kill a hooker?
That.
Well, that's when, yeah, like
at the end, he accidentally kills
plant,
the hooker. She's running away or something.
Yes.
And
Plant actually hypnotizes him.
Close your eyes. You are asleep. Open your eyes. Now you will do as I say. Do you follow me?
Yes, master.
Yes.
Oh, right.
Which is a power that doesn't happen in the 86 version. And he's walking around kind of like a dumb zombie, like a Forrest Gump zombie.
I'm not sure if you guys got this at all, if it's just a Jewish thing, but Mrs. Shiva that comes in for all the funeral flowers.
Oh, yeah.
Shiva is the Hebrew word for...
I did like her.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
That a Shiva
Every
is something you
death.
sit when someone dies when you're Jewish. You said Shiva. So it was, I think it was just a neat little, that was her name, Mrs. Shiva, and she always came in with somebody else dead.
Yeah.
Ah, good morning, Mrs. Shiva. How's things today?
Oh, the same as usual, Mr. Mushnick. My sister's nephew Stanley died in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Oh, what happened?
He got blown up. Who knows how?
That's nice.
Well, I remember one place that had a whole wall covered with poison ivy. And people came from miles around to look at that wall, and they stayed to buy.
The owner got rich.
No. He scratched himself to death in an insane asylum.
Oh, that was my cousin Harry.
Everyone was dead all the time.
All the time. I like
So
that.
many dead people.
Well, he's dead.
Can we talk about the detectives real quick?
Yeah.
Because they're like, the first time we meet them, they're like in their office, and they're like, "What's going on? I don't know.
Hurry.
What? There was an arson on Fifth Street. Well, was there any suspect? Like they're just doing like the dragnet stuff.
Blood on tracks. Clues? None. Anything else? Dennis. Farb. Dead. Missing. Clues? Blood in office. Where? Skid Row. Ideas? None. Check it out. Yeah.
And then he's like, "How's your kid?" He's like, "I lost one last night."
How's the wife, Frank?
Not bad, Joe.
Glad to hear it. The kids?
Lost one yesterday.
Lost one, eh? How'd that happen?
Playing with matches.
Well, those are breaks.
Yeah, I guess so.
And then he's like, "How?" And he's like, "Playing with matches." And he's like, "Oh, that sucks." And he's like, "Oh, that's life."
Not all about them.
He's like, "That those are the
They're-
breaks."
That dialogue, I really feel their dialogue was 100% ad-libbed.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
man.
just talk, man. Just
Like, there's
Like-
no way that was written into a script. Like with the whole matches thing, I swear, like that feels really like
No.
on
and it
the
always
set.
makes me so impressed that they can keep a straight face, especially if that was ad-libbed, because the other guy was just like,
I'll tell you
"Don't
what,
look at me, man."
I was looking on something on my phone while that scene was playing, and I looked up immediately. I was like, "What?
What did I
did you say? Your kid died last night?" And you're just like, "Yeah, whatever." I like the prostitute scene, and she's like, "When am I chopped liver?" And he's just like, "Too bony."
Too bony.
She's like, I've never heard that before."
I've never heard that before.
And then he like throws the rock up, and it hits her right in the head.
He is
This is like the
deadly
third
with a
time.
rock.
This is like the
He
third time
is.
she's met up with him.
He is deadly with a rock.
Oh,
I'll tell you what.
Murdered so many people.
I
with a
mean,
rock.
Like he would have been like in the Stone Age, he would have been like a fucking alpha.
That's
drag him off.
He would have
hit
been
him over
on
the head
all
with
the
a rock,
cave walls.
drag him off.
He would have been. He was like the Michael Jordan of rock throwing.
Say
Sometimes
more-
He's a little slow here, but
He's
there,
we
Really
should
good
see him
head.
throw a rock.
Let me tell you, Cro-Magnon, man. So yeah, so and then the one difference with the ending of this movie is that which is something that they did in the off-Broadway show when I was a kid. When the plant eats you at the end, you become the
little
pods or the buds of
yeah
the plant. So that was super cool, seeing everyone's face in there.
That's kind of creepy.
Yeah, it was creepy as hell, man. I remember there were big pods hanging off on the show. Like they were literally the people were in these pods, and I was a little freaked out. I'll be honest with you. I was like 9.
It'd have been creepier if they didn't look like marquee cutouts.
Yeah.
But, I guess it works.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I get 2 days. Roger Corman, super cheap, but I still think a fantastic movie. So, and then eventually you see Seymour goes to end it, and then you see Seymour's in there too. He gets eaten by his creations. So
Because he goes into it with a knife.
Well,
they did that.
Didn't we just say he's not very bright in this?
Yeah.
Not.
And he goes, "I didn't mean it," and that's how it ends.
Womp womp.
Seymour!
I didn't mean it.
What the hell just
And if it doesn't work, then that's going to look really
we're in
weird.
color now.
We're in color now. Okay.
So
We went to color, just so happens to be when we started talking about the remake. So I don't know, it's safe to say I think that Abby and I are probably bigger fans of this movie than Adam is.
But to be fair, Adam likes this movie, and it's a musical.
I see this as an absolute win.
So
I watched it a lot when I
that
was
has
a
to
kid.
give
A
it
lot.
a sort of props, because for anybody that is not aware, Adam is not a lover of the musicals.
525,600 minutes.
Ryan and I,
We like it the singing.
we like it just singing.
I don't like when people just break into song.
If more people join in, the song will get better. If more people join in, the song will get better. Now you're having fun, 'cause we're in the aisles. Even the bad guy is singing along.
While
You
they were
obviously have
when
not
they
spent
were
a lot
having
of
a
time
normal
with me, 'cause
conversation.
I do that in the grocery store. Like, it happens.
That's why she's not allowed back at Whole Foods.
Exactly.
I'd
One
be
time.
like, I'll meet you at the register.
Meet you at the register.
You wouldn't be the first, and you probably won't be the last, but whatever. So yeah, Little Shop of Horrors in 1986.
If you're shopping for a fearless hero, a striking blonde, a dentist, a hip DJ, and a really funny plant, stop and shop at the Little Shop of Horrors.
That's right, I'm just a mean green mother from outer space, and I'm playing.
Big fun is in store.
That is incredible.
At the Little Shop of Horrors.
Frank Oz joined.
Fantastic cast: Rick Moranis, Steve Martin, Ellen Green, directed by Frank Oz. Amazing.
Yeah.
Frank Oz. What else did Frank Oz direct?
Frank Oz.
I know he did
directed-
Bowfinger. He didn't do many, which also has Steve Martin in it. Steve Martin and Eddie Murphy.
Right, that's weird.
He hasn't
He did
directed.
Death at a Funeral. He did the Stepford Wives remake.
What the?
He did the Stepford Wives remake.
I just
Did he
saw
really?
that. Why? What? That is so weird. That's
Bowfinger,
weird, right?
In and
He
Out.
directed
Indian
the
in the
score.
Cupboard. I used to love that one. House.
He
Sitter,
directed the
also with
score
Steve
with Robert De
Martin.
Niro.
What's what?
He directed the score with Robert De Niro.
Oh,
He
yes,
did?
he did.
And Edward Norton.
Yeah, In and Out. The
And
Indian in the
Muppets Vision
Cupboard?
3D. Sorry. What About Bob?
I never
which is
would
my
have thought
personal
the
favorite.
Bob, I
I
forgot
love
about
What About Bob. So that's That's my personal.
Oh, he
favorite.
did What
Rotten
About Bob? I thought
Scoundrels.
that was Harold. He did What About Bob? I love What About
I have
Bob.
him as director for that and Dirty
Yeah.
Rotten Scoundrels.
My
and The Dark Crystal.
My uncle Kevin, who got me in the horror movies, is an
Yeah.
extra in that movie in the elevator scene. What About Bob? We have to put him in.
What?
He's
Shut up.
front
I
and
love
center.
I'm in the elevator.
So we just found out that Frank Oz is actually a very established
director. Thank you, IMDb.
who has worked with many, many talents
On
over
top
many
of being
years.
Kermit the Frog,
Fozzie Bear, Miss
Yoda, and the guy that
Miss
hassles
Piggy.
David Kessler in American Werewolf in London.
Excellent
right.
point. Yes.
When you were mentioning the cast, though, too, we have to mention Levi Stubbs or Levi Stubbs. I don't know how you say his
Levi
name.
Stubbs. Yes.
And yes, he was the lead singer for the Four Tops. But
The voice of Audrey too.
I bet Adam knows who he is. Adam, have you ever seen Captain N, the Game Master?
Yes.
The old Nintendo show.
Yes,
Cartoon?
a cartoon, yeah.
He played the voice of Mother Brain.
That makes total sense, and I believe it.
Yeah.
But I still can't put a face to the voice.
That's because he's mostly done voice work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, unless you're a big fan of the Four Tops.
He had a face for voice work, I guess.
Yeah.
Pretty sure the Four
We
Tops
have
were pretty famous.
Tisha Campbell playing one of the Skid Row
Tisha Campbell
girls.
from Martin. Martin.
And
Martin.
Tina Arnold and Jim Belushi's in this. John Candy's in this.
Jim
Christopher
Belushi.
Guest. Christopher Guest, which I think the last time I saw this movie, I must not have known who he was, or I just forget every time that he plays the
I don't
first.
know. I know who he plays in this, but I don't know who he is outside of
Christopher Guest is the writer director of Spinal Tap. Writer, actor. He was the Six-Fingered Man in Princess Bride.
right.
He was Ours Go to 11 in Spinal Tap. He was
that
Best
was
in
him.
Show.
And as soon as you said Princess Bride, I knew who you were talking about.
And he's married to Jamie Lee Curtis in real life. And all of his movies are ad-libbed. They're all just impromptu.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I
he's-
know he did. I knew
he's
he did. Spinal.
Brilliant. Yeah, he's brilliant.
Never
I love
seen
him.
Spinal Tap.
Oh no.
I haven't either, but I just know. But everyone always talks about it.
Oh, we should. Well, that's
Like,
a
I
story
know-
for another day, but
yeah.
I think we should watch that. It's a mockumentary. It was like the first
Mhm.
mockumentary.
This one goes to 11 is in my lexicon, but I've never actually seen the movie that
You
uses
need
the
to, because you need to see Stonehenge in danger of getting trampled by a midget. It's great. Great. Trust me. There's a
Who gets-
scene
I
where
wasn't-
literally they're
I
trying
wasn't
to find
ready-
the
I wasn't
stage,
ready
and they're
for that.
backstage yelling rock and roll, trying to get all pumped up, and they can't find the fucking stage, and they're just wandering around backstage. It's a ridiculous movie, and you will love it. But anyway, Little Shop of Horrors.
The-
Bill Murray. I'm trying to
Um,
guess.
It's got everybody. Like,
Okay.
this movie literally is just a cavalcade of cameos and famous comedians, like people that shaped the 80s for comedy. There's a lot to love about this movie. Is there anything that you guys feel didn't get improved? Because I got to be honest, before we get to the ratings, I'm going to say it right now. This movie, in my opinion, is superior to the original in every way, shape, and form. I can't think of
Yeah.
anything I don't like better. in
I
the
don't think of
original.
anything.
Can you
yes.
guys?
I cannot think of a single thing that I like better in the original than I do in the remake. I love the original, but I love the remake even more.
I mean, if I wanted to come in with a hot take, I could say I like the actor who played Mr. Mushnick a little bit better in the first movie.
He was.
I just think that he was, and I mean, he was actually kind of funny in the original version. I kind of liked him. But other than that, no. I mean, Seymour is significantly better as a character.
Doesn't live with his mother.
He's not a moron. He's got issues.
He can tie his own shoes.
Yeah.
And he's actually very good with plants, which I like.
Before you get off Mushnick there, I see where you're coming from, because I was thinking that too when I was watching the original. I think the problem with this one though is that Mushnick's character is drastically cut down. Basically all we get, like we don't get that dinner scene with Audrey. He's
the only one without a musical. He doesn't
have a musical number. He's basically just in the background most of the time. He's yelling at Seymour.
Yeah, he's not really a main character.
Yeah, he doesn't do a lot other than give us that little bit of tension in the halfway mark. And he gives us an extra body for the plant.
Wait.
Right.
I think the reason for that is the expanded role of the evil dentist.
Of the dentist,
which
yes.
is
the Audrey and the dentist and the abuse and
maybe you guys will disagree, but Steve Martin in the whole dentist thing.
God, it's so good.
It's the best part of the movie.
You'll be a dentist. You have a talent for causing things.
It's the absolute best part of the movie. I don't even remember what the dentist's name is, but anyway, I mean, I think his character got sacrificed.
Dr. Oren Scrivello.
That's it.
Yeah, there's no way I could ever remember that.
No.
But
Wrote it down.
but like, well, maybe I'm jumping too far ahead.
Well, I mean, we've already we know. All right, let's start at the beginning. We know in this movie, as we mentioned earlier, that the plant is not grown from seeds, rather comes during an eclipse. And all of a sudden, this plant is now amongst other plants at the Japanese gardening place.
It got very dark, and there was this strange humming sound, like something from another world. Daddy. And when the light came back, this weird plant was just sitting there.
Right.
And so when he gets him, he's not raising him from baby seeds. He's
Didn't
got
he buy
a
it for like
fully formed.
$1.85 or something?
Do you know? I don't remember how much it was.
I think it's like $1.85.
But the old Chinese man sold it to me anyways, for $1.95.
You done fucked up again, Ryan. You done fucked up.
The whole vibe is 50s B movie.
Mm-hmm.
The set, like how it's kind of a fake set, like you see the backdrop and like the sky seems painted and the
even when the
like
train goes by, you can tell it's
but they're not trying to trick you. That's just like the aesthetic of the movie.
It's literally like they're putting on a stage show. And I love that.
That's they're keeping the aesthetic of, and Ellen Green, you know this too, Abby. Like Ellen Green is the only returning character from the stage show to be part of the movie.
I know Seymour's the greatest, but I'm dating a semi-sadist.
I might like Audrey better too in the original. She
really?
Well, she's less.
Annoys the shit out of me.
She's very Betty Boop, she's a very specific character, and she's going to have the voice and the boop. She's playing a very specific
doctor,
Mr. Mushnick.
I like Audrey better in this one. I do find it funny. No, go ahead.
I was just muttering. I'm sure most people do.
I had mentioned we had mentioned how she was the only one coming from the off-Broadway show. She's acting like she's still in an off-Broadway show.
Broadway show. I think they all are technically. I think that's why this is so vivid.
She's the only one that's pulling it off then.
Yeah, maybe.
Because she's talking in that voice.
Mm-hmm.
But she's also
she has a very powerful,
she's very animated
voice. Yeah.
Like she's trying to project herself to the back row.
At the end with Suddenly Seymour, when she belts that shit out, man.
Oh, that's Suddenly Seymour, yeah.
damn it, she's amazing.
This is going to be a challenging one to edit with the music.
It's Warner Brothers too. I don't know what's going to happen with this.
I'll just sing over.
Maybe I was going to say, maybe we'll just sing them.
Yeah.
Suddenly Seymour.
Suddenly Seymour. Yeah, there we go.
Standing beside you.
Yeah, that's going to be
We're
fun.
sweet
Probably going to
on
get hit
this
with Critters 3 again for some fucking reason.
No.
Yeah, you know what?
There's no Leo. We don't care.
As long as you're very short with the
it'll be fine.
8 seconds, 8 seconds, 8 seconds, you'll be good.
It'll be fine.
I do like though with this movie when it came out. I was reading that they actually used to send Audrey 2 to be interviewed. Like the plant itself did a lot of interviews when this movie was coming out, and at least one occasion they said the interviewer concluded with Audrey 2 eating the interviewer at the end of I just think that's fun as hell. It's like when Jason Voorhees was on Arsenio Hall.
Arsenio Hall.
How are you? That's good.
Those interviews would be tricky because the plant was so complex.
It's one of the greatest puppet achievements in movie history. Sorry, Ryan.
It absolutely is.
That puppet is remarkable.
I was talking when we were doing the watch along. I had mentioned how Labyrinth and this to me are some of the greatest achievements in the 80s for special effects. I give the edge to this because Labyrinth at the end of the day, it's still people in suits. You can tell there's a person under there.
Yeah.
Audrey 2 is a completely inanimate, not inanimate, but Audrey 2 is completely non-human. There is nothing human about Audrey 2, but you believe that this is a living, breathing creature.
I mean, it's Jim Henson, man.
During
Henson Company. I think Brian Henson actually was one of the puppeteers on Audrey 2.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. And I didn't realize that Jim Henson's daughter plays a little girl that's leaving the dentist off at the beginning with her jaws wired shut.
Yeah, that's his daughter.
But back to the puppet for a second. Just like the mouth movements. I forget what I was going to say now.
You could see it forming words.
No, just most of the movie magic with that puppet. It's not just how the mouth mechanics work with the songs. It just looks.
Well, that's what I mean. It doesn't just look
flawless.
like it's doing,
Yeah.
It emotes. It's animated. It's legit. Some of the most amazing puppeteer work I've ever seen.
Yeah,
and that's what I was getting at with how complex Audrey 2 is as an animatronic. To pull off those mouth movements, Audrey 2 is actually moving very slow.
Yeah,
and they had to speed up the camera.
And they speed it up.
Yeah,
that's crazy how they do that.
So that means every scene that Rick Moranis is acting,
he's got to act
Audrey
slower.
He's acting in slow motion.
You don't know what you're messing with. You got no idea.
Which is amazing.
Oh my God, I didn't think of that.
So now that I've mentioned it to you, though, Adam, if you go back and watch, there are some scenes where you can tell.
Interesting.
Crazy.
But yeah, everything had to be slowed down to half speed, and then they just sped it up in the camera.
I'll check it out. But anyway, the dentist to me is
we're at the dentist.
It's like the best part. Like it's so funny. Like Steve Martin, he's playing way against type here. His typical role. He's such a bastard.
Bastard! Bastard!
Bastard! But like
100%.
if he wasn't so good, if he didn't act,
nobody else could have
way,
done that role and pulled it off.
Yeah, this could be really problematic. But the way
he was an abusive,
but the way he does it,
trigger warning.
but it's almost played as tongue, even though it's straight serious. It's almost played as like expertly tongue in cheek.
Get the Vitalis! Quick, the Vitalis!
Just enough that like I don't see too many people even today getting that worked up about it.
Oh, I don't
No, because the moment that he does kind of go too far, and the movie even lets you know, during Feed Me Seymour song is when we actually do see him
beat her.
assault Audrey, and that's immediately after that. It leads up to his death scene.
If you want a rationale, it isn't very hard to see. No, no, no. Stop and think it over, pal. The guy sure looks like plant food to me.
And then he's dead.
Yeah, because he crossed that line. He wasn't just a dick. He totally beat the crap out of her. You know, she shows up with her little, I love her little sling with the lacy, you know, it's like,
The lacy
how's
sling.
that working for you? Yeah. She's such a
She calls it a
character.
cat. Good. I'm just like, girl, that is not a cat. I've never seen the stage show, so maybe Abby, you can help me. You said it was years ago when you saw it. I don't know.
I was 8.
They were going for a more sympathetic approach to Seymour. So my understanding was in the stage show that the dentist wasn't as abusive as he comes off in this.
Yeah,
movie.
I don't even remember anything about the dentist. I specifically only remember the plant, and I remember the people hanging from the vines at the end where they drop down in these pods, and their faces
That's
were.
awesome.
What's that?
No, continue. Sorry, I just said that's awesome.
Oh, it was insane. But I was 8 years old, but that is specifically, I remember that so vividly. Like I remember them getting eaten by the plant.
That must have been so neat. Isn't it?
But I don't specifically remember the dentist or anything like that.
And the same thing happens with Mushnick too, like with threatening Seymour with a gun. You want to be able to feel sorry
Justify
for Seymour
that Seymour didn't murder an innocent.
He didn't murder these people. They were just a victim of happenstance, and plus they were kind of lousy people. So
yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the Steve Martin and Bill Murray scene for a minute?
The waiting room scene was scripted, but everything he did when he was in that chair was ad-libbed, and I think it is.
Yeah.
I don't know how do you not just crack up? Like, how do you keep a straight face with that happening? And all the stuff in his mouth, and it's all.
It's your professionalism I admire.
And there's like a dominatrix, like
Bill Murray has a full-on orgasm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grabs his shoulder.
Like Steve Martin. Yeah. Well, it looks like they're fucking because he's like grabbing his shoulder and he's like, oh. But even like in the beginning, like he's leading him into the office and he's like, you know, I was referred to, blah, 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 and Steve Martin was just like, shut up. And Billy Murray's like,
yes, doctor.
I mean, he found him on the internet in a very specific group.
That Steve Martin wanted no part of.
Bill Murray invented the internet just so he could find this guy.
He gets so disgusted.
It's brilliant.
It's like the perfect foil to the sadomasochist meeting the masochist.
You'll be a dentist.
You'll be a dentist. You have a talent for causing things.
Oh, that's. I think
You
it's my
have a
favorite.
talent for causing things pain.
I think that's my favorite song in the movie.
It's amazing.
It's a really good. There's so many good songs in this.
There's so many good songs.
It's hard to
Still
talk
think-
about the movie without talking about the
Yeah.
song, which is challenging.
Mean Green Mother is probably still my favorite, but
What was I reading?
what
That was
there is
the
not
first-
a single song that sucks.
No, there's not. That one was up for an Oscar, right? Mean Green Monster.
Mother from Outer Space. I don't know. I actually don't know
was
about the
reading
Oscar history for this movie. The fact that this didn't
something
win. What else came out?
But it was
in
like one of the
86?
first ones that actually had foul language in it.
Yeah, watch the documentary there. Like some of the awards that this movie was up, it was up against Aliens that year, and Aliens kind of swept the awards for some of the special effects awards.
It was
Good bit
pretty
came
good.
out.
This is better than Aliens. I don't care what anybody
That's
says.
right. He said it. He said what he said.
Audrey 2 is leagues better than the Queen
Well,
Alien. I'm
actually,
sorry.
Audrey 2, we've said this over and
Well,
over again, is a
maybe.
stunning piece of puppetry. It's just all the little
I mean,
the teeth and the lips and the movement.
If the Queen Alien started singing.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal.
The only thing I really feel we need to discuss in any kind of detail is the ending.
Both
Adam,
endings.
have you seen both endings?
I know of them. I know that the alternate ending has the conquering of the world, and it's almost like a kaiju movie.
Yeah.
It's almost like Biollante.
Had seen the theatrical cut so many times, I never saw the other. Then one night I'm home, my friend and I were just watching this movie, and that ending happened, the other ending, and I freaked the fuck out because I'm like, did I have some sort of like Mandela effect? I just had no recollection that this was the way things were. I was like, this is not how I remember it. Then, the internet.
I would have preferred that ending. Sorry.
No,
I would have preferred that ending.
I like a happy ending. And I don't think Seymour ever would have so the plant starts to eat Audrey, and Seymour gets her out, takes her to the alley, and that's when they meet Jim Belushi, who, by the way, is only in the theatrical cut of the movie. He's not in the director's cut. Because that's where Audrey dies. She starts singing Somewhere That's Green.
Somewhere That's Green.
Again. And she dies while singing it. And then Seymour feeds her to the plant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw. I've seen that alternate cut.
And that's when they do their fight again, just like it is in the theatrical. But Seymour doesn't make it out of the fight.
That's a terrible ending, though. Nobody wanted that.
Emotional damage.
But see,
that's sad. That's really sad.
It works on something like an off-Broadway show because everybody gets to come out at the end, and you still see everybody, and they do their bow, and
you forgive and you forget.
This movie, you're just like, wow. So I guess everybody's dead, and you do get this amazing. Like there are so many plants running through the streets. They crash through a movie theater screen, just like in The Blob.
Oh, it's so good.
And the movie,
I like that part.
Yeah, and it ends with the 3 giant plants on the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right. So yeah, let's just hop on over to the ratings portion here. And I guess, Adam, like you were saying, we're just going to kind of rate them side by side.
So I'm gonna do two ratings in a row. Okay.
Yeah.
So all right. The 1960s film. Yeah, it's entertaining. I respect it for what it is. There's a lot of forced comedy in it that I found tough to swallow in this watch. A lot of the acting really isn't all that good. Apart from like Mr. Mushnick, like the guy that plays Seymour, the guy that was found in the gas station. I mean, that's cool. It's a cool story and all, but I would have rather it have been Dick Miller. I don't know if that's kind of casting a shadow over his performance for me or whatever. The special effects of the plant are, they're a little. There's a lot to be desired there. It's a good little. It's a nice little fun, quirky little flick, but it's not one of. I did have this on VHS when I was a kid, and I watched it all the time, but I can't give it a pass because of that. I'm gonna give it. This might be one of my lower ratings. I'm gonna give it 2 out of 5. Talking plants that look like a pistachio shell.
Feed me.
It does.
It does.
Yeah. All right. So then 86. Now, I love this movie when I was a kid. This was one of those VHS tapes where I had like 4 movies. I think I had like Rad, maybe the Karate Kid. and then this. There's a hell of a tape.
I was just gonna say I haven't heard of Rad since like 1989.
That's
I
our
want to go back
review
and
for
watch
next
it.
week. Yeah. And back then I wasn't a jaded old man, so I didn't hate the music. and like, look, there are bangers in this movie, so I don't mind it. You know, there are some musicals that I like. Like I say, like, and I'll probably get trashed for this, but I love Andrew Lloyd Webber. Like I love Phantom of the Opera, not the movie.
Beautiful. No,
Not the
but
movie,
music,
but I like the
stunning.
musical. Yeah, and like back in Cats, I like some of the music from Cats. It's just the
Please watch
musicals
Cats
themselves
remake.
where like people are like, yeah, well, you're about to take custody of my kid, and they're like, no, you're not. Yes, I am. And they're like, well, let me tell you about why not. And then they start fucking singing. And I'm like, fuck that. Stop. Just fucking stop. You know, if it's about child custody, first of all, it should be arm wrestling, like in Over the Top, not
Put
fucking
your hat on
singing.
backwards and
Anyway, it's just the abrupt singing fucking kills it for me. But in this movie, though, like it's not that abrupt, and like every musical piece is kind of like set up that way. I don't know how else to explain it. Anyway, I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I was going to this last watch. I love the dentist stuff with Steve Martin and Bill Murray. Audrey kind of annoys me. And then you're just left with songs. And again, they're bangers, and I also don't know if it's because I watched this one so closely to, the 60s version where like the stories are just very similar. So I'm just like, all right, I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to give it I'm going back and forth between I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. Bill Murray having fake sex with Steve Martin as he gets drilled in the mouth.
That's a fanfic right there. Unlike my co-host Adam, I fucking love these movies. Starting with the 1960 movie, I always forget how much I enjoy it. I think because I feel like it's not a musical, it's not that shiny, it's going to be stodgy. I don't feel that way. I think it's got its own appeal. I love Dick Miller. I love, him eating the carnations and Mr. Mushnick, like, you want more? And he's like, no, my wife's making gardenias for dinner. Like it's so quirky. It's so weird. Again, the dentist thing is a little off when you don't have that extra, character arc with him, but again, an excuse to have a body. Jack Nicholson being his first performance, I think he was a lot of fun. I genuinely like this movie. I'm going to give it 4 out of 5. I had it in my head and now it's gone. Accidentally Murdered Hookers.
Wet or dry?
Wet.
That's good. That's a good one.
And
your review makes me feel bad about my review because I'm like, yeah, you're right.
It's okay though. It's okay. They can't all be winners. The remake, 1986. I have absolutely nothing negative to say about this movie. Yes, Audrey's voice is unbelievably annoying. She's playing a living Cupid doll, but she is playing such a specific character.
It's
like
supposed
she
to be a
put
little
the
much.
blonde wig on. That was her idea. She had this full formed character in her head. I love her. I love everything about her. I love the dentist. I love Seymour's and her. I like that Seymour's not such a babbling idiot in this. I like that, yes, he's a bit of a coward, but you see his character growth throughout this, and his impulse is always to protect her and just do right by everybody, and I love that about him. I am going to give the remake 5 out of 5 tough titties.
You don't know what you're looking at, but that's tough titty, kid.
Just saying.
Nice. All right, so the original, I'm kind of in the same camp as Adam. There's absolutely nothing wrong with Little Shop of Horrors 1960. It is most famously a movie that was shot in 2 days, and everything about it says, "Hey, look at me! I was shot in 2 days." That's not a like. I'm not putting that down. That is an amazing achievement in filming. The fact that it's a coherent story at all is nothing short of a miracle, and is really a testament to how fucking amazing Roger Corman and crew were. But I mean, it's still a movie that was shot in 2 fucking days. The plant is forgettable. Seymour is just bonkers. And that's it. Everything else is just kind of there. Like Mushnick and Audrey go to dinner. Dentist is working in dentist office. It's just, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then Seymour gets eaten in the end.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's okay. It's a fun background movie. Yeah, I'm in the same boat as that. I'm going a little higher. Give it a 2.5 out of 5 florists hiding in display shelves. I was gonna go with surprise. I was gonna go with surprise beach homicides, but then you went with surprise hooker death. So I want to go back and forth.
I like that. That was good.
The 1986 remake, though, is, in my opinion, it's a perfect movie. Every song is a banger, and I don't think I can say that about any other musical I've ever seen. The special effects, I can't think of anything that looks better than that fucking plant.
Yeah.
Down to the movements of the tendrils and even when it's laughing, laughing, and you can almost see its tonsils contracting in the back of its throat.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the attention to detail in this movie is insane. Rick Moranis, fuck. I mean, it's amazing what he's doing now, but oh my God. I just think about all the movies that we could have been enjoying. But you know what? He took care of his family. Good on him. Because he doesn't know anybody a goddamn thing. So he got to do what makes him happy.
Yep.
Even like in the smaller cameos, like Bill Murray, John Candy. John Candy just going fucking nuts with that microphone. I love it. It's a perfect movie. The theatrical version is a perfect movie. The director's cut is not. I am on the same wavelength as Abby. I'm giving the remake 5 out of 5 plants that like to eat ass.
Temperature, fans. The average mean temperature for this season is 69 degrees. Not too bad.
Like to eat ass.
There'll be a clip.
There will be a clip.
When he's like checking the ass out when she's bending over.
Yeah, the plant's trying to eat her.
Yeah, I would too.
I mean, so, guys, as always, if you want to reach out to us, we really want you to reach out to us. Like, somebody please email us just for fun.
To be fair, I haven't checked the email address in a while.
hormonalwerewolves@gmail.com.
A lot of spam in there.
A lot of spam. I don't really like spam. We are on the Facebook, the YouTube, Threads, Instagram, though not much on Instagram because we don't do a lot of pictures. Anything, you name it. You want us, you find us. Hormonal Werewolves, the number 3 on YouTube. Check it out. Like, subscribe, yada, yada, yada. And Adam, Ryan, want to plug anything going on?
Yeah, let's save Adam's bit for last because I always look forward to
Adam's
that. As always, you can find me over at Scream Until You Like It. when this airs, I will probably have just released the Amityville Awakening, which will end the run of the canonical Amityville movies. After that, it's all downhill. I think we actually mentioned it last time too, on the last episode, but it's been a bit coming out. But yeah.
It'll be here before you know it. And Adam, where can we look for you these days?
All right. Well, obesity is an issue that strikes at the heart of America. And a lot of obese Americans can't mow their own lawns. I am actually going to be mowing the lawns of obese people for most of the summer. Because of our Patreon supporters, I was able to get weed whackers and a new lawnmower just for this duty. And
duty.
I have an email address set up, and anyone that's obese that doesn't want to mow their lawn, all they have to do is send me an email, and I'll be there.
How far will you travel?
A couple miles.
Okay. Unless they pay for airfare.
Maybe a half a mile.
All right. Well, I know the nursing homes miss you, Adam.
I don't have a truck, and I'd have to put the lawnmower in my car. So
on the top of your car.
I've seen your car, like just strap that fire onto the top.
Just ride the lawnmower at that point.
My car basically is a lawnmower.
Anyway, guys, it's great seeing you as always. Got nothing else.
I guess that means we've wrapped up another episode of the Hormonal Werewolves.
Can you even believe it?
I mean, yeah.
That happens weekly. That's cool.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Everybody's out looking for him, right?
Yeah.
Where do you think he's going to come back to? Back to his lair.
We'll be ready for him.